The man who was supposed to be the next Arnold Palmer has become a ghost. At 55, Phil Mickelson has vanished from the sport he once dominated, missing every single major championship in a calendar year for the first time in his career. The six-time major winner, the man who became the oldest major champion in history at the 2021 PGA Championship, has played just one tournament in all of 2026. A T48 finish at LIV Golf South Africa in March that feels like a lifetime ago. His world ranking has collapsed. His future in professional golf is in doubt. And now, a bombshell investigation has revealed allegations so devastating that they have shattered the carefully constructed image of one of golf's most beloved figures. Behind the smile, the charm, and a family man image was a pattern of behavior that has left the golf world reeling. Phil Mickelson hasn't competed since LIV Golf South Africa in March. One tournament. That's it. In an entire season. The man who once defied age, winning the PGA Championship at 50 years old, now can't even make it to the first tee. His team has cited a private family health matter for his extended absence. According to Alan Shipnuck's investigation, it wasn't Phil or Amy Mickelson dealing with a health crisis. It was one of their children. The revelation adds a tragic layer to Mickelson's disappearance from the sport. While the golf world debated his scandals, he was quietly dealing with a family crisis that no parent should ever have to face. But as the weeks turned into months, and the months turned into a complete season of silence, the story started to unravel. He missed the Masters for the first time since 2022. He withdrew from the PGA Championship at Aronimink. He was absent from the U.S. Open, where his 5-year exemption from the 2021 PGA Championship had expired. And now, the Open Championship is off the table too. The Telegraph reports that Mickelson made the decision to withdraw around June 18th, and it will be the first Open Championship he has missed since 2009, when he stepped away to support his wife Amy during her breast cancer treatment. The six-time major winner has been replaced at the Open by reserves. The man who dominated the tournament at Muirfield in 2013 won't even be at Royal Birkdale. His streak of major appearances is over, and his future in professional golf is uncertain. Phil continues to attend to a family health matter and is uncertain when he will be able to return to professional golf, his spokesperson said. The silence from Mickelson himself has been deafening. The man who once had something to say about everything now has nothing to say at all. Here's where the story takes a devastating turn. The scratch investigation by Alan Shipnuck revealed allegations so serious they've rocked the entire golf world. The report, which interviewed 19 sources, painted a picture of a man who had been hiding in plain sight for decades. The most explosive allegation came from Ashley Perez, the former wife of fellow tour professional Pat Perez. According to the report, during the 2015 Barclays tournament in New Jersey, Mickelson invited the couple to stay with him at his villa at Liberty National Golf Course. While Pat excused himself to use the restroom, leaving Ashley and Mickelson alone on the patio, she claims the six-time major champion took out his phone and showed her a full-body photograph of himself naked with an erection while flexing one bicep. Ashley told Shipnuck, "Phil says to me, I'm going to leave my bedroom door open tonight. When Pat falls asleep, I want you to come see me." She declined his advances and didn't immediately tell her husband, saying she hadn't wanted to create a scene mid-tournament. When Perez was eventually told, he confronted Mickelson. In a 2022 podcast, Perez said, "I have a different hate for Phil than most people. Phil crossed the line with me that is just uncrossable and unforgivable. He knows that he screwed up. He apologized for the action, but I cannot forgive him for it." Ashley Perez says she has a recording of a subsequent 26-minute phone call between Pat and Mickelson. During it, she claims Mickelson alternated between contrition and saying he could not remember the details of the evening. When Pat told him he had shown Ashley a naked photo, Mickelson is alleged to have responded, "You mean topless?" without fully admitting what had happened. Mickelson is said to have told the couple, "I can't tell you how disgusted and embarrassed I am in myself." Ashley Perez explained why she chose to speak on the record. "There's a culture of silence that keeps women from coming forward. I want to give other women the courage to share their truth. With Phil, I feel like the pattern has been there for many years, but people have been afraid to go public because it's Phil Mickelson. We give these golfers so much adulation and money. They think they're gods. They think they're untouchable." The scratch report revealed that Mickelson's misconduct was not limited to the incident with Ashley Perez. The investigation uncovered a pattern of behavior spanning years, involving multiple clubs, employees, and elaborate schemes. According to the report, Mickelson had abruptly departed from 3 high-end golf clubs, the Madison Club, the Bridges, and the Farms, with sources at all 3 saying personal conduct was a primary factor. At the Madison Club, Mickelson is alleged to have cheated on his wife, with at least one woman spending the night at his condo. He ended up leaving the club in 2021 after a decade of membership, at the behest of his wife. The Bridges Club, located just minutes from his family home in Rancho Santa Fe, was where Mickelson allegedly engaged in an elaborate scheme to hide his location from his wife. A Bridges member who regularly played golf with Mickelson told Scratch, "Phil would give his phone to a young man in the pro shop and pay him $500 to drive around the course for 3 or 4 hours. Amy was tracking his phone. That way, she would think he was out on the golf course. That gave Phil the time to sneak off and have his secret rendezvous." Another member confirmed that this was known throughout the club. Mickelson then stopped appearing at the club, and his honorary membership was given to Xander Schofel instead. The most recent incident occurred at the Farms Golf Club, where a female employee accused Mickelson of non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact. According to multiple sources, Mickelson approached the employee in the clubhouse, made non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact with her, and was confronted by club officials mid-round before being told to vacate the premises. A representative confirmed he had resigned from the club, and his display of achievements in the clubhouse has since been removed. The Farms Golf Club told Golf Digest, following a staff member report of member misconduct, the club provided immediate and ongoing support to the staff member, conducted a thorough independent investigation of the incident, and took decisive action. This individual is no longer a member of the Farms Golf Club. However, Mickelson's attorney claims they have video evidence that disproves the allegations. There is a great deal of misinformation circulating, and while Phil's full attention is devoted to a private family health matter, he has retained defamation counsel and is determined to hold accountable any publication or individual trafficking in speculation or false rumors, Claire said in a statement. As the allegations mounted, Mickelson's legal team went into overdrive. His attorney, Tom Clare, released a lengthy statement pushing back against the allegations while also acknowledging some past mistakes. Alan Shipnuck's journalistic stock in trade is the anonymously sourced drive by shooting, heavy on implication but unsupported by any on the record sources, the statement read. Shipnuck has spent years attempting to position himself as the definitive authority on Phil Mickelson. This story demonstrates precisely why he is not. The statement specifically addressed claims involving Amy Mickelson, his wife of 35 years. Mrs. Mickelson is not a public figure. She did not choose this spotlight, and there was no legitimate journalistic reason to drag her into it. Shipnuck nevertheless gave anonymous sources a platform to speculate about her marriage, her motives and decisions they had no first-hand knowledge of. The statement added, Mr. Mickelson has never been forced by his wife or by any golf club to surrender his membership. Those decisions were his alone. The statement also addressed the Ashley Perez allegation. Shipnuck repeats an allegation regarding a photograph while downplaying a critical fact contained in his own reporting. During a private call in which Mr. Mickelson reached out to apologize for his behavior, he immediately challenged the central premise of that allegation by asking, "You mean topless?" That distinction matters. Mr. Mickelson's willingness to apologize for his conduct should not be misconstrued as an admission of every allegation made against him. The statement also suggested a potential conflict of interest, noting that Scratch was created by the PGA Tour and operated as a PGA Tour-owned media brand for nearly a decade before being contributed to a new media company in which the tour retained a minority stake. Scratch's editor-in-chief Ben Boscovich fired back. Scratch's affiliation with the PGA has been well known in the sports world since 2024. The PGA Tour has no oversight over Scratch. It's bizarre that Claire is now challenging our reporting through the press rather than answering our questions directly. Despite everything, Amy Mickelson has stood by her husband. Her support was described in a statement to People. Throughout their 35-year relationship, his wife, Amy Mickelson, has supported Mr. Mickelson and their family with extraordinary grace, unwavering love, and the belief that people are measured not only by their failures, but by what they do to make them right. The public show of support is striking given the nature of the allegations. The reality of Mickelson's situation is even more grim when you consider his professional future. LIV Golf, the breakaway league he helped define, is facing its own existential crisis. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is set to pull its financial backing after the 2026 season, and the league's future is uncertain. If LIV collapses, Mickelson faces a brutal reality with nowhere to play. Former ESPN host Trey Wingo put it bluntly, "That bridge has been burned, detonated, destroyed, nuked, lasered to death. There is no building that bridge back." The PGA Tour would require a suspension of at least a year and a massive fine for him to even be considered for a return. Billy Horschel recently said that Lefty might not be back on the PGA Tour, no matter what. Despite his being a lifetime member and having done a lot, there are many things Mickelson did and said that have made his path back impossible. Mark Brooks, a fellow PGA champion, told Shipnuck what would have happened if Mickelson had attended the Champions Dinner. If he had walked into that room, the temperature would have dropped about 10 degrees. It would have been a chilly reception. There's something deeply sad about this story. One of his former golf buddies told Scratch, "It's a very sad story. He should have been Arnold Palmer. Phil had the same charisma, the same star power. People loved him everywhere he went. My take is that he came to believe his own bullshit. He thought he was bulletproof because his whole life he had always skated on everything. But in the end, he had too many demons. He got consumed by his own darkness." Another friend described his need for constant stimulation. "Phil does everything for the dopamine. That's his downfall. Whether it's the way he plays golf, all the gambling, chasing chicks on the road, going LIV, it's all based on this very deep need to have action at all times." Phil Mickelson is one of the greatest golfers who ever lived. 6 majors, 45 PGA Tour wins, a legacy that should have placed him alongside the legends of the game. Instead, he finds himself isolated, his reputation in ruins, and his future in professional golf uncertain. The questions now are impossible to ignore. Was the withdrawal his choice, or did the sport finally decide it had had enough? Can he ever rebuild his legacy, or is this the end of the road for one of golf's most polarizing figures? And what does it say about our sports heroes when we learn who they really are behind the smile and the charm? One thing is certain. The man who once had the world at his feet now has nowhere to go. And that's the most tragic story of all.